Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we'll be discussing current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we're going to be looking into today? That is in-flight Wi-Fi and how does it work. In this article, we'll be discussing as to why is it in use, what is in-flight Wi-Fi, we'll be discussing your ATG and satellite-based connectivity. Look at this. Tata Group's Air India has announced the rollout of free in-flight internet services on board domestic and international flights, serviced by select aircraft in its fleet. So, today we'll see what is this in-flight Wi-Fi. Speaking about Air India, it's a very special project with regard to India, meaning post your Second World War, your India had nationalized Air India. Again, this was taken by your 2021, it was acquired by your Tata Group. Now, when Tata Group acquired it, first of all, the condition Air India was in, it needed some sprucing up. When I mean sprucing up, it needed sprucing up to face the excessive competition. So it needed to make certain changes. First and foremost, in that aspect, they decided was providing free Wi-Fi. Now, when I'm telling free Wi-Fi, it is not that in any of the Air India flights you will get free Wi-Fi. No, they started this as a initial phase wherein free Wi-Fi will be provided to both domestic as well as international. This offering of free Wi-Fi to domestic is for the first time in India. For domestic flights, giving free Wi-Fi, first time Air India. Post its acquisition in 2021. Now what happened, even in Air India flights, not all Air India flights are getting like your Airbus 350, etc. Alongside this, recently there was a merger of Vistara also to your Air India, that is your Tata Group. Now this also will be providing free Wi-Fi services. But one thing about your Vistara is, it was already having, that is the provision was already there mounted on Vistara aircraft which was providing Wi-Fi connectivity. So this was an added boost. How does this concept of in-flight connectivity works? First thing is, when a user goes in, sits in the flight, he will have to log into your Air India website, and in that he will go to Air India portal. He will enter the details such as your PNR, last name, etc. Then he will be given connectivity. How does that connectivity work is what we are going to be discussing. There are two types of internet connectivity. One is your ground-based cellular towers or your ATG, air to ground technology. Second thing is the satellite-based connectivity. First, we will discuss ATG. This is a, do not make fun of me. This is a fish. I know it looks like a fish, but this is the best I can draw for an aircraft. Okay, I don't know why I drew a face for it. I was just trying to show the cockpit. Okay, anyway, coming back to the topic. So what happens in ATG or ground-based cellular towers is, here a special antenna is needed to receive the signal. So what happens in the belly, in this belly region, antenna is fixed. Okay. Now, when the flight reaches, let's say 10,000 kilometers up, when it's gone there, this antenna will start receiving signals from ground-based towers. You all know all the mobile towers, etc. is there, no? From those towers, it will start receiving the information. Okay, it will take it from here, it will relay it back to here. But the issue is, whenever it is going through vast oceans, water bodies, large stretches of deserts, or sparsely populated, that is very less populated areas, mountainous regions, Okay, in these areas, because lack of cellular towers, it won't be able to get the data that well. Why? Because cellular towers itself are absent, the physical body itself is absent, right? So in these areas it's little bit difficult compared to the ground level Wi-Fi and your in-flight Wi-Fi. This is very slow only. Understanding? This is your ATG. Now let's speak about your satellite based connection. First and foremost, here same, I'll not draw the face, okay, flight not fish. So what happens in satellite based connectivity is, here the antenna is mounted on the top, where they will send the information. Let's say this is ground based tower, fine, this is the satellite. Again, assume this is satellite, okay. Information that will be sent is, let's say it will go to satellite, fine, this satellite will come to the ground network, then again this information will be relayed back to satellite, and then this back to the flight. This is much more faster and precise, and it doesn't have to do in these regions, like we said, ocean, deserts, sparsely populated area, mountainous area, in this it will be low and all. So these condition will not be seen here. Why? It is directly communicating with the satellite, right? So this is more fast compared to this. Understanding? So two types we have for in-flight internet connectivity, that is ATG and satellite based connectivity. Understood? See, like we discussed, your tower, aircrafts, satellite, understanding? Within the flight, how is this working? First and foremost, each cabin, that is within the flight, there will be Wi-Fi antennas. This in-cabin antennas will be connected by the passengers. Up until here, this process is same for ATG as well as your satellite based connectivity. After this, the antenna positioning, that's how we discussed. For example, in your ATG, this information will be broadcasted from the belly of the aircraft to the ground cellular level, whereas for your satellite based connectivity, the antenna will be on top, it will be directly connecting with the satellite. Understanding? This is your in-flight Wi-Fi. Now this kind of equipment such as your antenna, other equipments which has to be built in the cabin, and then on top of it mounted on satellite, on the belly if it is ATG. So this is going to be pretty much expensive, right? So if it is going to be more expensive, would it be better if you would fix these kind of equipments to a newer aircraft or older planes? See, for example, what kind of services do the flights offer, do you think? Let's assume the flights will take Lufthansa and all. They'll also provide your now let's take Lufthansa and all. They provide in-flight connectivity and all. But one thing is, they will not allow for calls. But rather in messages, space, some voice notes, those are allowed, but calls are not allowed, like Skype, etc. So you can use this internet, but calls are not permitted. So on international flights, people tend to provide this services so people can work there, and because now the demand is also more on that, and they also tend to charge nominally. Initially it is nominally, then they tend to increase it. So that's how it is. So it's an added incentive. So in this case, it's better for them if they fit it to a newer aircraft. But when you look at India, the condition is little bit different. For us, yes, newer aircraft and all fine, but we are also facing a huge issue. Like we said, now the Air India, acquired by your Tata Group, it needs certain sprucing up, which means even on older planes, it needs to fix it. Second thing, when it is providing, for example, we saw, no, Air India is providing both domestic and international free. Now they are not going to do it compulsorily for everyone. It is just the introductory offer. lucrative offer so that people will pick this rather than this not being there at all, providing this is a better option, no? Different scenario compared to the other aircraft carriers. Okay. Now we've reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.